All right, today we're diving into a case that's just wild. It's got everything: betrayal, corruption, and a murder. Not in some dark alley, but inside the one place that's supposed to be untouchable: an embassy.
So this is the question that just hangs over this entire story. How in the world does an ambassador get murdered inside her own official residence? I mean, that's supposed to be a fortress, a piece of sovereign ground. It just doesn't make sense, right?
And get this, the timeline is just breathtakingly fast. We're talking just 12 days. 12. Olga Fonseca lands in Kenya, ready to start her new job, and before she's even had a chance to unpack, she's found dead. Okay, so to really get our heads around this, let's start with the crime itself and, who the police immediately suspected. Right off the bat, this wasn't some random break-in. The prime suspect was her own first secretary, Dwight Sagaray, her number two, the one person she should have been able to count on. That tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it? The poison was coming from inside the house. And that's the absolute key here. This whole thing, the motive for her murder, it didn't just pop up in those 12 days. No, the seeds for this were planted way before she ever got on that plane to Kenya. The embassy was already a dumpster fire. See, to figure out why she was killed, you have to understand why she was sent there. Olga wasn't just filling a vacancy. She was sent in to clean house. And when you're sent to clean house, you're a major threat to the people who like the mess. So let's look at the situation she was walking into. The ambassador before her, this guy Gerardo Silva, he gets yanked back to Venezuela in disgrace. Why? Multiple staff members accused him of sexual assault. And while all that's going on, his second-in-command, Dwight Sagaray, is in a power struggle with him, getting accused of insubordination. It was a total soap opera, just absolute chaos. So Silva's out, and boom, Dwight Sagaray is now the acting ambassador. He's the big boss, right? Well, not exactly. Turns out he wasn't running the show by himself. There was someone else, let's call him a business partner, who had all the power, but none of the official paperwork to back it up. I mean, just look at this list. This guy, Mohammed Hassan, he's not an employee, he's not a diplomat, yet he's paying salaries, he's handling the books, he's approving time off for actual staff, he's driving a car with diplomatic plates, and living in the ambassador's house. He was the puppet master, pulling all the strings behind the scenes. This wasn't just a friendly arrangement. So, into this completely rotten, bizarre setup walks Olga Fonseca, the real ambassador. You can just see it, can't you? It's like two trains heading toward each other on the same track. A collision was absolutely guaranteed. And the crazy part is, Olga knew it. She knew what she was getting into. She told her own brother before she left that she was genuinely worried, that she actually feared for her life. Think about that. She's heading off to her new post, and she's already thinking she might not come back. That's how bad things were. And the second she landed, it was on. Just look at this timeline. It's a full-blown power struggle compressed into a few days. She arrives, they literally block her from getting into her own house. So she has to call the landlord herself to get in. Then she calls a meeting and says, "I'm in charge, give me the bank accounts." Dwight immediately sends a competing letter to the bank trying to stop her. So she bans him from the residence. And just 2 days after that, she's found murdered. It was a war, and it was over in less than 2 weeks. So Olga had made her move. She was taking back control. And for Dwight and Mohammed, that was the last straw. That's when they allegedly decided to end the power struggle for good. The way they put this together, it was kind of like a pyramid scheme for murder. You've got the mastermind at the top, Mohammed Hassan. He goes and recruits a guy he knows, Ahmed Omido. Ahmed, the middleman, then brings in his guy, Alex Wanyoni. And then Alex finds the muscle, a retired cop. Just like that, they've built a team specifically to get Olga out of the picture. And here's a chilling little detail. The final planning meeting happens just hours before the murder. Mohammed shows up, and according to prosecutors, he's wearing what they later called his murder outfit. He was dressed for the occasion. They weren't even that sneaky about it. Staff who lived right there on the compound, they saw Mohammed with 3 other guys that night, but they didn't raise the alarm. Why? Because it was Mohammed. He had so much power and influence there that when they saw him, they didn't think intruder. They just saw the boss. So when he told them to go back to bed, they did. And that was it. The moment to save her was gone. So, Olga's body is discovered, and the investigation kicks off. But this is where the story takes another turn. leading to this long, strange, decade-long saga of justice. Or something like it. Okay, so what happened right after? Well, the mastermind, Mohammed Hassan, gets a tip that the cops are coming, and poof, he's gone. Vanishes. The hired hands, they get arrested pretty quickly. But the really shocking part? Dwight Sagaray. Venezuela didn't protect him. They revoked his diplomatic immunity, like immediately. They basically threw him to the wolves to face trial in Kenya.
But the trial took forever. We're talking a decade. And while he's out on bail this whole time, Dwight Sagaray does something, well, something no one expected. He doesn't run. He doesn't hide. Instead, he disappears by becoming someone new, hiding right out in the open.
You are not going to believe this. The guy on trial for murder, Dwight Sagaray, becomes Iguaso AC, an award-winning gospel singer. Seriously, he's on TV, he's on the radio, he's known as this big philanthropist. He built this whole new public persona as a man of God, all while being the prime suspect in an ambassador's murder. And for years, nobody connected the dots.
So that brings us back to the big question, why? Why go to such extreme lengths? Well, a pretty explosive notive came out during the trial. A witness claimed that the embassy's diplomatic bag was being used for drug smuggling. And if you don't know, a diplomatic bag is basically untouchable. It can't be searched. So, was that it? Was Olga killed because she was about to blow the lid off a narco-trafficking ring running out of her own embassy?
Finally, after 10 long years, the trial ends. And the verdict comes down. Dwight Sagaray, the gospel singer Iguaso AC, and his 3 accomplices were all found guilty. The sentence? 20 years in prison for each of them.
They tried to appeal, of course, but it didn't work. The convictions were upheld. And just like that, the legal chapter of this absolutely wild case finally came to a close. But here's the thing. The story isn't really over, is it? Because Mohammed Hassan, the guy prosecutors called the mastermind, he's still out there somewhere. He was never caught, which leaves us with a pretty heavy question. With the man who allegedly planned the whole thing still free, was justice for Olga Fonseca ever truly served?